Our top focus story in this bulletin comes from Bangalore. A retired army personnel was beaten up by a traffic police official for trying to make way for an ambulance that was stuck in a traffic jam near the Kaveri Junction. The ambulance, which was carrying blood units to the Chetan hospital, was stuck in traffic. Noticing this, a retired army man removed a rope that was put up by the traffic police as a road divider to make way for the ambulance. Enraged by this, the traffic police sub-inspector thrashed the retired army man in full public view. The bully cop, Rangappa, has now been suspended. My colleague Pratibha Raman, tracking developments on this story, now joins us live from Bangalore. Pratibha, shocking visuals on our screens at this point in time. While, the cop has in fact been suspended, could you take us through the details of this incident?
Well, in fact, it is very shocking indeed. In fact, for a person to behave in this particular manner, being a government servant. And in this particular case, in fact, Bangalore received rains in the sense that it was raining cats and dogs right since this morning. And there was heavy traffic jams in different pockets of the city. And this particular junction is one such junction which forms the main road that connects Bangalore East and Bangalore North. And that was the particular signal which is heavily congested all through the day, and that was the time when the ambulance was waiting there for nearly about half an hour, and this retired army personnel wanted to actually help make way for the ambulance because no matter how long they're going to be stuck in that signal, there's no way that you could save the life. And this particular good gesture of the army personnel was actually misunderstood by the traffic cop there, who started beating him without even knowing the reason, not even letting him explain his stand at that particular moment. It was just a fit of rage at that point in time where his ears, everything was shut, and his senses gone for a toss. And perhaps now the traffic commissioner has realized it and suspended him. But then the bigger question is about how long are we going to put up with this kind of an attitude by the police? Well,
absolutely. That really is the big question. And while this bully cop, as we're calling him, has been suspended, Pratibha, has, the traffic police commissioner at all come out, issued an apology or a clarification of any sort?
That's right. In fact, the traffic commissioner has spoken to the media, has explained what kind of action is going to be taken in terms of also having awareness campaigns to make them more people-friendly. But these kind of pointers have been issued to most of these traffic sub-inspectors to ensure that they are people-friendly, to ensure that they are warm to people, especially during checks and things like that, to give them this sort of an image that they are approachable. But then on ground, none of this seems to be turning into reality.
All right. Also, Pratibha, this again raises the larger debate. We've been talking about, gender sensitization of the police. But this sort of raises a larger question of sensitization altogether, because it does appear that the cop, from those visuals was not even willing to listen to what, this former army man was in fact saying. He wasn't willing to acknowledge that this was in fact a gesture to help an ambulance. He just shut his ears and continued to beat him in full public view.
That's right. In fact, most often that is what happens. The traffic cop, most of these policemen, just because they are a government servant, just because they have power in their hands, they have the police stick as well as the gun in hand, they think that they can actually question anyone and that nobody would be questioning them in return. But then now, I guess people have come forward to raise their voice against such kind of attitude of the policemen, and that is what has happened in this particular case as well. Time and again we have seen this kind of attitude being questioned by the public as well. But right now, in fact, the police must take this up as a serious issue in order to sensitize most of these traffic cops, not just the traffic cops, but then cops overall in the nation.
All right. Also joining us on the phone line is Harish Bijnoor. Harish, thank you for speaking with Headlines today. There are shocking images that we've put out on our screens of a cop beating an ex-army man in full public view for, in fact, aiding an ambulance out of traffic. Your first reaction?
Yes, I think this is a terrible sight. And to think that a man in uniform can indulge in this kind of activity is totally intolerable. And I do believe we need to have zero tolerance on matters such as this. And I'm sure the police commissioner will take action on this.
Right. The police commissioner has in fact, issued a statement. They've also suspended the cop in question. But does this not then raise, the larger issue of sensitization of our forces, whether it is, gender sensitization, Harish, that we've talked about time and time again, or just sensitization in general?
There is a very important need for sensitization, and this sensitization is not only about gender, but about differences in the way people look. For instance, where people come from,
right,
whether they speak the local language or not, etc., etc.
Right.
I think it's all a matter of good training.
Good training, and also, Harish, in a certain sense, pointing to arrogance. This is clearly khaki arrogance and nothing else.
Yeah, unfortunately, khaki arrogance is something which has been inherited. And, it's extremely important to sensitize for that this is 2015.
Harish, stay on with us because M.N. Reddy, the Commissioner of the Bangalore Police, is also joining us on the phone line. So thank you for speaking with Headlines today. We've put out shocking images on our screens of, a traffic policeman beating an ex-army man in full public view for aiding an ambulance. So your first reaction to these shocking images?
It's deplorable. It's unwarranted. And we have taken action immediately as soon as we came to know about it, and I placed the officer under suspension. Inquiry will follow, action will follow.
All right, action will follow, sir. Do you think that, images like this, time and time again, echo the need for sensitization of the men in khaki?
Yeah, let me submit to you. Thanks for getting me on your channel. Through you, I would like to tell the public that we continually sensitize the police. We have about 2,000 traffic policemen who stand on the roads in Bangalore city in the midst of pollution, rain or shine. And they work hard for monitoring, sometimes 9 to 10 hours a day. And they are constantly trained, and they are very sensitive to allowing ambulances through the traffic by giving them a priority. Just the other day, day before yesterday, we transported a live heart from Bangalore to Hyderabad, giving a complete green corridor. So my request and suggestion to you is that kindly let us not generalize a single incident while not reducing the importance of the incident, but let's not generalize it. That's my request.
All right, so we will, even if we treat this as an aberration, even treated as an aberration, the incident is very shocking and does, sir, point to a certain sense of arrogance that has in fact set in to the men in uniform.
Well, again, once you say men in uniform, I believe, I hope not, but I think we tend to generalize. My request is let's not generalize. For your information, I believe this particular guard, the ex-army man, is very friendly with police.
Right.
In fact, he works out of a place very close to that intersection, and our policemen and they sit together and read the newspaper on a daily basis.
Right.
So there is something wrong that went into that guy's head, and he'll pay for it. But I think my request is please give a holistic picture to it.
Okay, so you're requesting us not to generalize an incident like that. You've taken swift action. You've suspended the cop in question. Is there any further action that you're going to be taking? Are you going to use this as an example, perhaps, to train your personnel in the future so that incidents like that are not repeated?
Yeah, I would like to say that we need to look at systemic issues rather than individual episodes, and we must find systemic solutions. So I think continuously and continually training and giving refresher courses to the men and the officers, reducing the stress level in them, and also to look at technological solutions for giving priority to ambulances, which Karnataka State will be proud to start early by April, May, when we are spending 80 crore of rupees. Karnataka Chief Minister is personally monitoring that. He's very keen to set up that particular system for the first time in this country, where whenever an ambulance approaches a signal within 200 meters, it will automatically turn green. So it's great that you spoke to me. I could mention these things to you. Kindly let people know about it.
All right. M.N. Reddy, the Commissioner of Police of Bangalore, speaking to Headlines today. So thank you so much for bringing us that perspective. M.N. Reddy, they're saying that this should be treated as an aberration. This is not the rule. The police forces are being sensitized. This will be used as an example. He is going to make sure that it isn't repeated. Remember, the police officer in concern has already been suspended. Also, M.N. Reddy, they're coming out and saying that more technological solutions will be searched for instances where ambulances are in fact stuck in traffic.